Viewers, our top story on India Global today. Chief of Defence Staff General Chauhan has warned of a possible strategic convergence between China, Pakistan and Bangladesh. A development that he said will carry serious long-term implications for India's security and regional stability. He flagged the shifting geopolitical order and called for a sharper assessment of the evolving alignments across South Asia, and it could be a whole host of reasons. He said it could be the increasing Chinese presence in India's neighbourhood. He warned that growing China, Pakistan, Bangladesh axis would test our security architecture. Now, fast forward 12 hours, and you have Turkey's defence minister in Pakistan for talks with the Prime Minister. What are we looking at? We are looking at the three countries in the arc that the CDS highlighted: China, Pakistan and Bangladesh. But there's also Turkey, all of which together pose a serious and concerted challenge as far as India is concerned. What would that be is something that we are going to decode. But first, I want to play out this soundbite of Chief of Defence Staff, and then we go forward.
Distress in countries in the IOR has given outside powers to leverage their influence through debt diplomacy, creating vulnerabilities for India. Similarly, frequent shifts in government in South Asia with changing geopolitical equation and ideological views, another major challenge that we face. Similarly, there is a possible convergence of interest we can talk about between China, Pakistan and Bangladesh, may have security implications for regional stability and security dynamics.
All right, viewers, as always, we first put up the big questions and then we get in General Satish Dua for more on this. First and foremost, is Pakistan looking to amplify its defense after Operation Sindoor? They relied on the Turkish drones. Are they going to rely on that again after Operation Sindoor's debacle? Second key question, how big a threat is this entire nexus really for India? Something that the CDS highlighted. The third key question that we're putting up is that what are India's options with regard to this nexus? Next and final equally important question is that what about Turkey? How big a threat is that for India's interests? And Turkey plus Pakistan, what does that add up to? And the last question we have, and then we get in General Dua, is on the fact that what about the larger interests that all of this collectively put forward? All right, General Dua, thanks much for speaking to us on NDTV. Let me start by asking you, sir, there are these two parallel things. The three countries that the CDS highlighted, but also at the same time, you have the Turkish defense minister on Pakistani soil. So we need to be adding that as well. And are we looking at a potential four-nation anti-India nexus to deal with?
Well, if you take your mind back to Operation Sindoor, during Operation Sindoor, the countries that were overtly ranged against us, in addition to Pakistan, were China, Turkey, and Azerbaijan. And so this nexus or these countries are opposed to India. That is a given. But and Bangladesh actually remained. Though it remained neutral during that time. But over the last 1 year, since August last year, when Sheikh Hasina left the country and she's in India, since then, the relationship between India and Bangladesh have been a little tenuous. On the other hand, the influence of Pakistan, and notably of Pakistan ISI, in matters of Bangladesh is increasing. Now, that is something that we need to worry about and we need to watch with concern. Right. So, to answer your question, is this a nexus that's emerging? The point is, yes, certainly. China has already got inroads into Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is more than willing. I mean, you know the visit of Mohammed Yunus to China and the fallouts of that. And so China is strongly in bed with Bangladesh. It is using it. Pakistan, China and Pakistan are, higher than mountains and deeper than the oceans kind of friendship. And that is why we need to worry more about this sort of nexus that is emerging.
Then let me ask you this, sir, that Turkey and Pakistan also have deep defense engagement, defense ties as well, and defense purchases. Do you see that to get a fresh leg up after Op Sindoor and the kind of lack of preparations, lack of preparedness on the Pakistani side? Do you think that is going to get a fresh leg up here? And should India then be prepared for more Turkish weaponry on the Pakistani side?
To my mind, the kind of drubbing Pakistan got in Operation Sindoor, Pakistan has realized that they need to enhance their defensive preparedness. And to do that, I think they would be willing to get weapons and platforms from anywhere.
All right. And finally, right. Yes, sir.
US is unlikely to give it to them. So Turkey seems to be their best bet in addition to China. And that is why they are enhancing this relationship with Turkey to another level.
Okay. Then which brings me to ask you the larger question in terms of China. How do you see the Chinese presence with regard to the Indian neighbourhood? Something that the CDS highlighted. He also pointed out that because of economic instability, the flux that these countries are facing, the Indian Ocean again is another challenge. But how do you see the Chinese role, and how do you see India countering that with several of these countries coming at the behest of China and Chinese money?
Well, China continues to throw rings around India. That will not stop. China and India are competitors in this space, not only in the military domain, but also in the economic domain, as was just mentioned, including the Indian Ocean region. So we are likely to see our adversarial or competitive relationship with China in every domain in times to come. And for doing this, to carry their purpose forward, they are obviously likely to use all the neighboring countries around India to the best of their ability. And we have to my mind, I think what India can do is we need to continue our engagement. For example, our engagement with Bangladesh, engagement with Myanmar, and other neighboring countries as well must continue.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave it there. General Dua, thanks much for speaking to me on NDTV.